As you can see out here, lots of stuff going on behind me here. There are several law enforcement agencies on the scene. We've got Louisiana State Police, Ouachita Parish Sheriff's, Monroe Police on the scene, as well as a SWAT team in there right now. They're still searching for the shooter, and they're searching this whole block right here. I'm off Stubbs Ritchie Road in Swartz right now. So they're searching the whole block. It's a highly wooded area, so they're doing all they can. We've also seen them bring in a K-9 unit, so they've really got all hands on deck out here right now. As far as the officer that was shot, very little information is being released right now. He is being treated at a local hospital, and that's about all we know at this point. Any of his injuries and his condition are still being kept under wraps, but we will, of course, keep you updated as more information becomes available. They don't have anyone in custody yet, but as I said, they are searching very diligently out there. As soon as we know more, we will let you know that as well. I'm live in HD in Swartz. Ayla Ferrone, KNOE 8 News. Darren Lambert is being charged with domestic abuse battery after allegedly pouring rubbing alcohol on his girlfriend and then setting her on fire while the two were in an argument. Now, court documents show that Lambert's girlfriend is suffering from severe second and third degree burns to her upper body, and that he threatened to kill her and her unborn child if she went to police. Now, it all happened about a week and a half ago on a Page Circle in Sterlington. Police say Lambert took care of his girlfriend's injuries for several days until she finally went to a local hospital. A nurse there reported the case to Sterlington police, and after interviewing both Lambert and his girlfriend, they took him into custody with the help of West Monroe police. Now, this has many looking back to a similar case stemming from a crime in 2010 where a man was accused and found guilty of repeatedly burning his girlfriend with an iron. Alan Robinson is currently serving 110 years in prison for his crimes after being found guilty of aggravated second-degree battery and kidnapping in 2012. Now, that case prompted several state senators to push through legislation that gives more severe penalties to those found guilty of domestic abuse by burning the victim. We're told the crimes Lambert is accused of would be the first case tried since that legislation was passed. Now, Lambert is currently being held without bail at OCC. His girlfriend is being treated for her burns at a hospital in Jackson, Mississippi. Doctors say that she lost her baby in the process due to possible stress from the abuse. We're also told by family members that doctors in Jackson will be using skin grafts from her thighs to try and heal her burns. We will, of course, continue to follow this story for you as it develops. But for right now, I'm live in HD in Monroe. Ayla Ferrone, KNOE 8 News. Well, State Senator Bob Kostelka worked with District Attorney Jerry Jones to pass that law, which increased the penalty for domestic abuse where the victim is burned. That stemmed from a crime in 2010 where a man burned his girlfriend with an iron. Kostelka says 23-year-old Darren Lambert could be tried under that statute for allegedly setting his girlfriend on fire. This would be the very first case of its kind to go to court since that law passed. A warning to some of our viewers, some of these images in this story may be disturbing. Darren Lambert is accused of setting his pregnant girlfriend on fire while the two were having an argument nearly a week and a half ago. A law passed in 2013 increased the penalty for domestic abuse where the victim is burned to no less than 5 years and up to a maximum of 50 years in prison.
That's probably what they will prosecute under in this case.
State Senator Bob Kostelka helped pass that law. It stemmed from a similar crime in 2010 where Monroe's Alan Robinson repeatedly burned his girlfriend Esther Freeman with a hot iron. The images of her injury still very difficult to look at. Robinson had burned more than 50% of Freeman's body with the iron, nearly killing her.
Well, because obviously burning, intentional burning, is a very serious crime, yet the penalty was not as severe as we thought it should be in cases like that.
Robinson was found guilty of the crime and was sentenced in 2012 to more than 100 years in prison for aggravated battery and kidnapping. Kostelka says it's very probable Lambert will be charged under the new law. It's the first case of its kind that has been reported since that legislation passed.
The statute we passed was made to order to cover such a hideous crime.
Lambert is currently being held without bail and is charged with domestic abuse battery. This is the home where Shirley Cagle lived and where she was killed. Now, Monroe police found her body after the suspect, Robert Nelson, admitted to killing her and pointed to this address. And we're told the two knew each other. Michelle Cagle is Shirley Cagle's daughter-in-law and lives next door to her on Isabel Street.
Woke up and I saw the lights outside.
She says that's when she went into her mother-in-law's home.
And then that's when they told me that she had been murdered.
Police say the suspect, Robert Nelson, had gone on an apparent drug bender, stealing from several homes and vehicles in the area. After responding to a burglary call at the Fort Miro apartments, police were able to track Nelson down near his home on Milton Street. After a short chase, officers arrested him.
When the suspect was apprehended, one of the first statements he told officers were, I didn't mean to kill her, I'm sorry.
Police say Nelson was on narcotics at the time of his arrest.
He made statements to implicate himself in the murder.
Michelle Cagle says she can't think of a reason why anyone would want to do this to her mother-in-law.
She was just the most wonderful person on earth, and no one would want to do this to her.
Nelson knew the Cagle family as well as those living in the apartment on Fort Miro that he stole from.
And I mean, she would have given him anything. There was no reason for him to do this to her.
Police say Nelson tried to set Cagle's home on fire in an attempt to cover up evidence. They also say Nelson has a history of violent crime.
This is my personal belief that this person does not need to be walking the streets of society again.
The family still in shock.
And it's just insane. We're just in total disbelief, total disbelief.
This statement from Cagle's brother, Representative Frank Hoffman. She's in a wonderful place now. It's sad for the entire family. She had a great life. She worked hard. She made a lot of difference in a lot of lives. And police just happy to get Nelson off the streets.
It's absolutely huge that we got him off the streets, because had we not located him, what will he still be doing?
And Nelson is in custody tonight, facing several charges, including arson, burglary, and second-degree murder. Now, police tell us, of course, as we did say earlier, Nelson does have a history of violent crime, and they're just happy to have him off the streets. He has been in and out of prison several times. Mark, I'm live in HD in Monroe. Ayla Ferrone, KNOE 8 News.